As Wakana Gojo looks at the gorgeous Hina dolls crafted by his grandfather, he can't help but find himself deeply in love with them. With determination, he decides to hone his skills. However, soon his world is turned upside down when one of his friends calls him creepy for liking girls' stuff despite being a boy. Years later, as he's about to leave for high school, Gojo's grandfather asks about his friends. Gojo, who's often preoccupied with the shop, initially sidesteps the question, mentioning that his friends are busy with club activities. In truth, Gojo grapples with making friends at school and feels isolated, convinced that his fascination with dolls would be uninteresting to others. While contemplating this, Kitagawa Marine, the school's most popular girl, accidentally knocks into his desk and initiates a conversation, catching Gojo by surprise. Later, when one of Kitagawa's friends mentions a boy who made fun of her keychain and faced rejection, Gojo is struck by her response, emphasizing not ridiculing someone for their interests. After school, Gojo's classmates leave him with the cleaning duty, and Kitagawa confronts him, expressing her anger about others taking advantage of him. This leaves Gojo at a loss for words. At home, as he works on Hina doll dresses, he realizes that the sewing machine is broken and decides to use one at the school club after hours. Gojo starts working on the Hina doll outfit when Kitagawa unexpectedly finds him, surprising him for a moment. He almost drops the doll but saves it with quick reflexes. What astonishes him is Kitagawa's reaction. Instead of criticizing his passion for making Hina dolls, she shows genuine interest and admiration, leaving Gojo amazed. Things take an unexpected turn when Kitagawa learns of Gojo's sewing skills. She decides to change into her cosplay outfit and asks him to turn away. This sudden request overwhelms Gojo, and he reacts strongly. Soon, Kitagawa pleads for him to look and admire her self-made outfit. Gojo can't help but provide a critique, stating that it doesn't quite match the original design. This critique brings Kitagawa to tears, and Gojo quickly realizes his mistake, offering a heartfelt apology. She forgives him, explaining that her outfit is a cosplay of a character named Shizuku Kuro. She admits her lack of sewing skills and asks for Gojo's assistance. Touched by Kitagawa's praise, Gojo agrees to help, bringing a smile to Kitagawa's face. Shortly after, Kitagawa delves into the character's backstory, which slightly irritates Gojo. In response, he confesses his unfamiliarity with the dating sim game Saint Slippery Girls, leading Kitagawa to provide a summary of the series, complete with its mature plot and mechanics. However, Gojo becomes increasingly uneasy as the conversation continues. As Kitagawa continues expressing her admiration for the character Shizuku, Gojo notices her genuine enthusiasm and enjoyment. Curious, he questions whether the game is suitable for minors, to which Kitagawa appears unaware. Gojo further inquiries about her interest in a game designed for a male audience. But Kitagawa wisely explains that gender shouldn't determine one's capacity to enjoy something. This resonates with Gojo, and he agrees to help Kitagawa with her cosplay project. She shares a beginner's guidebook for making cosplay outfits, and they both decide to meet on Monday to work on it. As it was getting late, Gojo's grandfather is surprised to see him back early, explaining that the shop will be closed tomorrow as he's going to buy a sewing machine. Gojo glances at the cosplay outfit making book and learns that he'll have to take measurements himself. The next day, Kitagawa visits Gojo, offering him cheesecake and then examining the brushes he uses for his dolls, causing Gojo to have an anxiety attack. Kitagawa quickly helps him regain his composure. Gojo prepares himself to measure Kitagawa for her cosplay costume but is taken aback by her stunning appearance. Nervously, he asks if she's okay wearing just a swimsuit, to which she confidently replies that it's all about the costume. Feeling embarrassed, Gojo motivates himself to start the measurements. Soon, Kitagawa mentions that shoes often hurt her feet, and Gojo tries to find a solution by measuring her foot circumference. She insists on sitting on his futon instead, despite his protests. Reluctantly, Gojo gives in to Kitagawa's demands. Next up are the talents measurements, another awkward moment for Gojo, but he complies. After that, it's the inseam and bust point, which Gojo declines to measure. Fortunately, Kitagawa decides to take the measurements herself, much to Gojo's relief. As Gojo prepares for the final measurement, he notices that Kitagawa is blushing. Assuming she's too hot, he excuses himself to turn on the air conditioning. By the end of the day, Gojo completes all the measurements, and Kitagawa provides him with 2 video games of the character as reference materials before leaving. Later, his grandfather catches Gojo playing one of the games and assumes it's due to his age, but is surprised to see that he's taking notes. At night, Gojo has a vivid dream about Kitagawa in her cosplay outfit. The dream starts innocently but quickly turns steamy, leaving Gojo in a cold sweat. He tries to shake off the thoughts and focus on the present. Later, Kitagawa walks down the school hallway. Gojo's emotions are all over the place, torn between his feelings for her and his love for a doll head. Kitagawa approaches Gojo and thanks him for his help. Despite Gojo's attempts to avoid her, Kitagawa's friends join them. One of them senses Gojo's discomfort, but Kitagawa reassures them. The girls leave to get drinks from a vending machine, and Gojo reflects on how Kitagawa treats him the same when they're alone. Overhearing some girls discussing the possibility of Gojo being Kitagawa's boyfriend, Gojo is filled with uncertainty and confusion. He decides to avoid Kitagawa the whole day. Despite his efforts, Kitagawa eventually catches up to him and demands to know why he's been acting strange. Gojo admits it's awkward being around her and mentions the rumors about their relationship. Kitagawa teases the idea and claims they're already friends, leaving Gojo flustered. They then go shopping for cosplay materials, and Gojo helps with notes and fabric choices. At a wig store, Gojo is amazed by the selection. He suggests a deep violet wig to match Shizuku's character, and Kitagawa agrees. They move on to a lingerie shop to buy garters and stockings. Gojo waits outside the changing room, feeling uneasy. Afterward, they enjoy ramen for dinner, and as they leave, a woman watches them enviously. On their way home, Kitagawa discusses cosplay and shows some examples to Gojo. She expresses her fascination with male cosplayers, but Gojo struggles to respond. Kitagawa asks about it, and Gojo admits his attraction to doll faces, apologizing for his difficulty expressing thoughts. In response, Kitagawa calls him a face guy. Gojo takes the cosplay materials, asking about where they'll wear the costumes. Kitagawa explains they can wear them at events or at home and mentions an upcoming event 2 weeks later, leaving Gojo astounded by the news. Upon returning home from shopping, Gojo finds his grandfather, Kaoru, shocked by the contents of his bags. This surprising situation causes Kaoru to fall and taken to the hospital. Gojo's cousin, Mori, offers to let Kaoru stay at her place for the next 2 weeks while he recovers. Gojo agrees to take care of the shop during Kaoru's absence, prompting the old man to accept the offer, asking for extra clothes and brushes to be brought to him the next day. A few days later, Gojo informs Kitagawa that he couldn't attend school due to his grandfather's accident. Kitagawa offers to help with cooking, but Gojo declines. They exchange contact information, and Kitagawa mentions that her hairstylist cut the wig for the costume. While walking, they come across a bulletin board announcing midterms, adding stress to Gojo's already troubled plans for the next 2 weeks. Kitagawa snaps Gojo out of his trance, and they continue walking with Gojo aware of the difficulties ahead. At home, Gojo receives a phone call from someone seeking a tour but decides to decline due to a scheduling conflict. However, after learning the tour must be on set to accommodate a friend visiting from France, Gojo reluctantly agrees and gives them the tour. After the exams, he looks exhausted and ignores Kitagawa, so she decides to visit him with food. However, she sees the lights are off and thinks he's with his grandfather. In reality, Gojo is in his room, lamenting over his lack of sleep and inability to complete the dress. He recalls his grandfather's advice about loving what you do, which snaps him out of his depression. Gojo's experience and memories help him realize the importance of pursuing what you love and finding satisfaction in it, even if you're not perfect. He continues working, and by morning, he tells Kitagawa that he has finished the costume. Kitagawa is astounded by the finished cosplay costume but tells Gojo she wasn't going to attend the event. Kitagawa apologizes for giving him the wrong idea and not being clear. Despite her confession, Gojo is relieved, but Kitagawa breaks down in tears, thinking he was only visiting his grandfather. Gojo suggests Kitagawa to try on the costume. He calms her, ties her hair, adds fake lashes, and helps with the makeup. He then leaves the room so Kitagawa can change into the costume, and the results turn out to be amazing. Kitagawa looks stunning in her outfit and truly feels like Shizuku. As Kitagawa is dressed in her Shizuku cosplay, Gojo compliments it and asks about her experience in the outfit. Kitagawa responds, mentioning the challenge of raising her arms comfortably. Gojo acknowledges this and decides to capture some snapshots of her in various poses. The two of them then make plans to attend an upcoming event together. The next day, Kitagawa creates an account to share photos and is eager for the upcoming event. On the day of the event, Kitagawa is thrilled to see all the cosplayers and even encounters a few celebrities. Gojo, feeling a bit out of place, is reassured by Kitagawa as they head towards where the photographers are. One of the photographers asks Kitagawa for her first photo shoot, making her extremely happy, and she even takes a photo with the photographer. A line forms for people wanting to take her picture. Gojo, meanwhile, observes the various cosplays and realizes that his time with Kitagawa is coming to an end, having fulfilled his promise to help her with cosplay. He reflects on their time together, realizing it was an extraordinary experience for him. After Kitagawa finishes with the photographers, Gojo is relieved that she didn't leave. However, she mentions that her clothes are causing discomfort, leading to heat exhaustion. Gojo takes her to a building to cool down, where Kitagawa wipes off sweat and applies a cold patch. They find tips online to cool down, which require Kitagawa to undress. Despite Gojo's hesitation, he helps her and they head back outside, where Kitagawa apologizes to the photographer. and allows more photos to be taken in the shade. By dusk, Gojo and Kitagawa return home, and Gojo expresses gratitude for the opportunity to attend the event with her. Kitagawa eagerly asks about their next cosplay, revealing a list of 51 favorite characters she wants to portray. Gojo is committed to continuing their collaboration and even plans to buy a dress mannequin, but Kitagawa insists on getting one for him. While looking online, Kitagawa notices Gojo's drowsiness and suggests he takes a nap. As they share their experiences from the event, Gojo compliments Kitagawa's appearance as Shizuku, a word he usually reserves for special things associated with him, surprising Kitagawa. At Gojo's place, Kitagawa washes her cosplay wig with Gojo's guidance. She starts blushing, realizing her feelings for him. Meanwhile, Kaoru returns home with Mori, explaining why he tripped earlier, and they all discuss it. Kaoru is surprised to see Gojo holding a dress he made, and Kitagawa standing with him, which leads to another comical trip. They chat about the dress, and Kitagawa's feelings for Gojo become evident. Later, during dinner, they share stories about their deceased parents. Kaoru invites Kitagawa to dine with them regularly, and she agrees. On a rainy day, a young girl takes shelter at Gojo's place and meets his grandfather, Kaoru, who assumes she's a friend of Gojo. Upon arriving home, Gojo learns about the misunderstanding and worries that the girl might be a thief or con artist. He confronts her in the restroom, only to find her in birthday suit, creating an awkward situation. She introduces herself as Sajuna Inui, an older student from a different school, and expresses interest in cosplay. Gojo misunderstands her intentions, showing her his Hina dolls. However, Shinju's actual interest lies in cosplay outfits. She emotionally manipulates Gojo into making her a costume similar to one admired by Kitagawa. Sajuna explains that she found Gojo through online stalking and requests a Black Lily costume from the anime series Flower Princess Blaze. Despite his reluctance, Gojo agrees. Soon, Gojo receives text of Kitagawa coming to his home. Upon seeing Sajuna, Kitagawa can't help but contain her excitement, making Sajuna uncomfortable. After settling down, Sajuna asks for Gojo's contact information to stay in touch. She then inquires if Gojo and Kitagawa are dating. Gojo's emotional response surprises everyone while Kitagawa suggests cosplaying with Shinju, but she flatly declines. Kitagawa insists on doing a group cosplay, but to no avail. However, when she offers to help pay for an expensive studio for Sajuna's solo Black Lily cosplay, Sajuna agrees. Gojo offers to chip in, citing his makeup skills. They decide to do a group cosplay just this once, and Gojo commits to watching an entire anime to prepare. Later, Gojo shares his excitement and a Hina doll head with Kaoru, who praises his progress. The next day, Gojo visits Kitagawa's home to pick up DVDs, but she invites him inside. They watch anime together and enjoy pudding. Kitagawa makes a disastrous attempt at cooking omurice, but Gojo still appreciates the effort. Gojo contacts Sajuna about a cosplay sketch, which impresses her. She offers to cover the costs, but Gojo declines as it's still early. Gojo shares that the costume he made for Kitagawa was his first, surprising Sajuna. She then offers Gojo the use of her camera, operated by her sister Shinju, who teaches him how to use it. They plan to meet at a family restaurant, with Kitagawa joining. However, upon meeting, they're quite surprised by Shinju's height and mature appearance. Shinju shows Kitagawa some pictures of Sajuna's cosplays, and Kitagawa compliments them. Sajuna explains that her sister, Shinju, manages her account and takes her cosplay photos. Shinju admits to ignoring messages due to anxiety, but Sajuna cosplays for her own enjoyment, not just for others. Shinju suggests she should reply to fans, and Kitagawa asks if Shinju likes Sajuna, which she happily confirms, making Sajuna blush, so Kitagawa playfully teases her. Shinju reveals they use their father's camera for cosplay and explains the differences between professional camera and smartphone cameras. Kitagawa asks if she'd like to cosplay, but Shinju hesitantly declines. Gojo, curious about the camera cost, is shocked by the high prices. Sajuna then invites them to scout photo studios for their cosplays, and they plan to meet on the weekend. Their first stop turns out to be an old hospital turned into a photo studio, making Sajuna nervous. Kitagawa and Shinju explore while Sajuna hesitates but eventually joins. They discuss handling the dark setting, and Shinju offers lighting tips. As rain starts, Gojo asks Sajuna about her dreams. She admits wanting to be a magical girl, though she knows it's a fantasy. Gojo asks why she chose him to make her cosplay outfit, and she reveals she was drawn to him after seeing his cosplay photos. With gratitude, Gojo emotionally extended his appreciation, gently taking her hands, a gesture that proved to be overwhelming for Sajuna, causing her to faint. A few days later, Kitagawa invites Gojo to the beach. They enjoy their time, have a meal, and dip their feet in the water. Turns out, it's Gojo's first time at the beach since he is quite preoccupied in his hobby of crafting Hina dolls. Kitagawa promises to take him to more places, which makes her feel a bit embarrassed. As Kitagawa snaps a photo of Gojo, he ends up falling into the ocean and gets covered in seaweed. A few days later, Gojo and Kitagawa return from shopping for cosplay stuff. They head to Gojo's room and Kitagawa starts painting a rock. Gojo praises her, and Kitagawa feels proud of her contribution. Sajuna joins them, and they all put on the cosplay outfits Gojo made. Sajuna gives some ideas to everyone, and Kitagawa attentively listens in, even though she can't fully grasp the discussion. And when Gojo eventually asks Kitagawa, she attempts to describe it as smartly as Sajuna did, but ends up characterizing everything as utterly crazy. Gojo helps with their hair and makeup, using cosplay tape and pins to secure the wig. Kitagawa looks in the mirror, and for a moment, she thinks she's Neon Nikaido all along. Sajuna denies the idea, and Gojo admits that Kitagawa does resemble a character. They get ready for a cosplay photo shoot, but it gets ruined by rain. Kitagawa is disappointed, but Sajuna understands. They have a heart-to-heart talk while Kitagawa asks to take a selfie with Sajuna and shares it online. Meanwhile, Gojo brings Shinju, surprising everyone with her sudden appearance. In a flashback, Gojo talks with Shinju about cosplaying and encourages her to try it. Shen then expresses her desire to cosplay a character from Flower Girls Blaze but feels self-conscious about her body and financial constraints. Gojo promises to help her and gives her his school uniform, similar to the character's outfit. During their discussion, they consider using a beholder to enhance Shinju's shoulder width for her cosplay. Shinju decides to purchase the product to complete her transformation. In the meantime, Gojo also makes a purchase, buying a wig that will perfectly complement her cosplay look. Gojo invites Shinju over to his place to cut the wig. However, when they start, Gojo becomes nervous, surprising Shinju, who usually sees him as an expert. Gojo admits that he's not always an expert and shares a story about a classmate who made him feel the same way. In the present, Shinju surprises Kitagawa and Sajuna with her cosplay. Though Shinju feels overwhelmed with emotions and somewhat self-conscious about her appearance, Kitagawa and Sajuna warmly welcome her, providing much-needed encouragement that boosts her confidence. The trio then decides to capture the moment with a photo together, sealing their shared passion for cosplay. Before they gear up for their planned photo shoot, the group has a blast, enjoying each other's company. Kitagawa takes loads of pictures, and everyone's delighted with the results. While Shinju and Kitagawa continue snapping shots of Sajuna, Gojo gets lost in thought, watching them having fun. Later, Shinju suggests taking cooperative photos with Sajuna and Kitagawa. At first, Kitagawa is a bit hesitant, but a compliment from Sajuna about her outfit changes her mind. Despite being in an abandoned hospital, Sajuna feels safe and content with her friends. Sajuna thanks Gojo for helping with Shinju's cosplay, offering to pay for the expenses. Gojo initially refuses, but Sajuna insists, appreciating Gojo's courage and sharing her passion. In the evening, Sajuna and Shinju review their photos and have a heart-to-heart about Sajuna's insecurities and envy. Sajuna prefers doing things with just Shinju, while Shinju is grateful for the experience with Gojo and Kitagawa. Sajuna also expresses a willingness to cosplay with Gojo and Kitagawa in the future. Meanwhile, Kitagawa contacts Gojo to review the photos, complimenting Gojo's makeup skills. Afterward, Gojo admires the new cosplay costume, Veronica, he made for Kitagawa, while pondering how there are different types of designs in the world. Kitagawa arrives with a dark tan achieved with foundation for her cosplay, and she shows Gojo the makeup and accessories she'll use. They struggle to find fake teeth, so Gojo suggests using fake nails as a substitute. While trying on the teeth, there's a funny mix-up, and Gojo becomes flustered. To recover from the little mishap, they decide to go shopping and have some ramen. Kitagawa teases Gojo about the revealing cosplay, making him uncomfortable. She playfully asks if he wants a picture of her in that outfit, causing Gojo to stammer and blush, to which Kitagawa laughs, claiming she was just joking. During their shopping trip, Kitagawa and Gojo seek shelter from the scorching heat of the day and decide to visit a manga cafe. Inside, Gojo feels a bit uneasy about how closely they're sitting. After browsing the menu, Kitagawa introduces Gojo to a new succubus manga she's been reading. She explains the genre, plot, and her admiration for the female leads half-pigtails. Kitagawa admits she's hesitant to cosplay as the character due to her self-consciousness about the hairstyle. Gojo reassures her, making her blush, and she considers trying this cosplay. Kitagawa takes a moment to explain to Gojo what a succubus is, which shocks him, but he decides to give the manga a shot. He enjoys the interactions between the main characters, but finds the drawings too simplistic for designing a cosplay costume. As dusk approaches, they leave the cafe. Before heading home, Gojo invites Kitagawa to accompany him to the bookstore to buy the manga, and she happily agrees. Gojo notices a nearby clothing store, makes some purchases, and later tells his grandpa about them. After finishing Kitagawa's new cosplay outfit, they arrive at a studio, only to realize it's a love hotel. Kitagawa enjoys the situation, while Gojo is distraught. Kitagawa cheers him up by showing pictures of an all-girl cosplay group that frequently uses love hotels. She changes into her cosplay outfit, thanking Gojo for his work on it. He explains how he designed it based on research and the manga character, despite not fully capturing the details. Kitagawa doesn't mind, saying that outfits in manga and anime don't always match their source material. Gojo helps Kitagawa with her cosplay makeup and props, and they take photos in the hotel room. They then recreate a scene from the manga and take a photo that turns out to be quite good. However, as they take photos, they receive a call from the front desk, informing them that their time is almost up. They decide to leave. And in the excitement, Gojo playfully hits himself on the head while chanting Kitagawa's name in his mind. One night, Gojo is busy painting eyebrows on a Hina doll while colorful fireworks light up the sky. Just then, he gets a message from Kitagawa, who urgently needs his help. She wanted to attend a festival with her dad, but her unfinished homework stood in the way. Kitagawa reveals that she's working as an amateur model to save up for a camera, which leaves Gojo shocked. After their study session, they decide to watch a scary movie together, but Kitagawa gets spooked by the story. She manages to finish her English homework, but when asked about her math homework, she realizes she left her math book at school. So, they head to the school to retrieve it. As they leave the school, Kitagawa's eyes light up when she sees the pool and impulsively jumps in, despite not being able to swim. She confesses her love for visiting the beach and invites Gojo to another festival, but he reminds her about her unfinished homework. Back at Gojo's home, he continues working on his Hina doll and receives a text from Kitagawa, telling him she's almost done with her math homework. The next day, Gojo bids farewell to his grandpa, Kaoru, as he heads out to meet Kitagawa at the festival. As they meet in front of a shrine, Kitagawa excitedly shows off her yukata, leaving Gojo both flustered and delighted. They explore the festival, with Gojo buying a candied apple for Kitagawa and trying various food items. They then make their way to the plaza to watch the fireworks. As the fireworks begin, Gojo is captivated by the colorful display, and they share a moment of silence, staring at each other. Kitagawa playfully breaks the silence by sticking out her tongue, tinted blue from the shaved ice she was enjoying. When Kitagawa's feet get injured due to her sandals, Gojo offers her a piggyback ride to ease her discomfort. On their way to the convenience store, they chat about their festival experiences and make plans to attend more events together in the future. Back at home, Gojo settles into bed and receives a call from Kitagawa, who is too scared to sleep after watching another scary movie. Gojo reassures her and leaves his phone on, promising to stay awake until she feels safe enough to sleep. As they talk, Gojo starts to feel drowsy and eventually falls asleep with the phone still on. In the quiet of the night, Kitagawa gathers the courage to confess her love for Gojo. She listens to his peaceful breathing on the other end of the phone and smiles. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel and comment down your favorite part below.